Welcome to Russ Reels Live on this Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I don't know what time it is where you are, but get excited because Russ Reels Live is ready to roll, talking thriving through challenges. You do not want to miss it. Here we go. Special thank you to our sponsors of Russ Reels Live, Stutzman Services in Albany, Oregon, Boulder Falls Inn, and Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. For more information on Stutzman Services and their plumbing and pump services, go to stutzmanservices.com. And for more information on Boulder Falls Inn in Lebanon, Oregon, and their amazing conference center, go to boulderfallsinn.com. And finally, for more information on Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer and how they support those going through cancer and their families, go to perspectivesoncancer.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Hey everybody, okay, yes, we're really here. We had a little pause there in the middle of things, a little technical difficulty, but all is good. And just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors who it took me a minute to get to, but you know what? We did it. So today is an awesome day. And you know what? That is the fun thing of life. I had a funny moment that I will share with all of you. I was just telling my beautiful wife, I go to some networking meetings and I was at one a couple days ago, and I'm pretty much unembarrassable. Just in case you didn't know, I'm a pretty crazy guy. And I was in this meeting, and somehow, as I'm drinking my coffee, I caught the edge of the cup with my offhand and knocked it all to the floor in the middle. We're all encircled looking at each other in this meeting, dump it right in the middle of the room. And you know what? When things like that happen, or there's a pause in the show, I just go, well, nobody died. We're all good. We'll just keep moving. So anyway, you know what? That's the thing about life. We have to be able to laugh at ourselves sometimes. And Russ Reels Live is all about being real. And the amazing panel that I have tonight on Russ Reels Live is incredible. And they're all completely authentic, real people that have so much value to add to you. And we're not meant to just survive our life through the challenges we go through. We're going to have a lot bigger challenges than dropping coffee on the floor, right? So if that really stops us, we're in big trouble. So you know what? It's learning how to thrive through those challenges. And so let's talk about that tonight. We're going to have a great conversation. But before we do, I want to tell you a few things. Guess what? This is Russ Reels Live, and we are going and ready to roll. And I want to tell you, please share this out with your friends, because there are so many people that are, you know what? They're busy. And so it's okay. We all get busy. Remind them. Just shoot out or share the link out or shoot a tag to their social media and let them know that we're going to be on, or that we are on. And that would be so great. I'd appreciate it if you share and tag this today. Also, you know what? I love to connect with people. So if you want more information about me, or you want to connect with me, just go to russhedge.com, and everything you want to know about me pretty much is there, and including all the connection links, as well as a place to schedule time directly on my calendar. If we have not had a chance to Zoom, I would love for you to schedule a time and we can Zoom and chat, and I get to know you. We can really connect. Love to do that. So please do that today. Also, want to let you know that, again, we're here every Thursday 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. And you know what? I love getting together with this community, but we can't always be together, right? So you can subscribe to our YouTube page, and then you can watch Russ Reels live 24/7. There you go. Why binge Netflix? Just binge Russ Reels live. There you go. And so at russreels.live, you'll find my YouTube page. That will take you directly there. You'll also find Marketing with Russ, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, the Experience Local, all my other live streams are there as well. So there's a lot of variety, but a lot of great, amazing people like we have on tonight. I'm so excited about the conversation tonight. Got such a good group. So please do that. All right. So I think we're just going to jump in and get the show started. And we always go ladies first. And you know what? All of us have had challenges, but the lady I'm going to speak to had a challenge just today that she overcame. You don't have to talk about that if you don't want to, but that brings you to mind. So let's bring Amanda in first. Here we go. Woohoo! Hey,
Hey,
Amanda.
Hi, Russ. How are you?
Well, I am so great. Thankful that you're here today. And you know what? I love that people don't even have just an inkling of an idea, even if you tell them, they don't have any real idea of what all you've been through, but you're always smiling. You're just such a blessing. I'm so thankful you're here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I try to keep what I've been through close to me until it's time to let it go, but I don't let it define me at all whatsoever.
Well, and that is so important. So, speaking of defining you, give everybody just a little snippet. Who in the world is Amanda and what are you up to?
So I'm a two-time AML leukemia survivor, but I was born with double pneumonia. I've had 7 brain surgeries for an inoperable cyst on my cerebellum. I now live with a ventricular arterial shunt that goes from my brain through my jugular and down into my heart, where it will release the cerebral spinal fluid because I have hydrocephalus on my brain. And then when my son was 3 years old, I was diagnosed with AML leukemia. But because of a genetic mutation called TP53 that I have in my DNA, my family was diagnosed with Li-Fraumeni syndrome, which is cancer causing, and I had to have a stem cell transplant. So on November 28th, 2018, I had a stem cell transplant. So this year I'll be 6 years old.
6 years old. That is amazing. Well, okay. So when people come to me and they say, Russ, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine all that you've been through. Things has been so rough in you. I just think of Amanda because you make me look like I've been sitting still, having nothing going on in my life. And you know what? But what I love about you is that in the midst of all that, you're always smiling. You showed up to my 500th episode. And you had everybody in tears right off the bat, crying, and you had me in tears right off the bat because you're just in a happy way. By the way, everybody, it was happy tears. But I just love the fact that you are always being positive through it all. So we're going to talk to you more, but we're going to keep getting everybody in the room. Okay. By the way, everybody, all of those and things that she talked about, you'll never really understand what they mean, so don't even try. Okay, here we go. Yes, next person. We're going to bring in Talaya because she has been on my show recently, getting ready to be on her show. Hey, Talaya, how's it going? You're muted.
Challenges.
You
Hi, Russ.
overcame, though. You
Yes,
overcame the challenge. There you go. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing so good. You
Thank
have the most calming, soothing voice. Now, take this as a compliment. It almost puts me to sleep. And I tell people that this is a good thing. People that actually are so calming and make me sleep, that's a really good thing. I take that as a plus. But you just have such a soothing voice. So, anyway, with
thank
that,
you.
I'm the crazy one here. But with that, Leah, tell everybody who you are and what are you up to?
Hi, yes. Again, my name's Talaya Dendy. I am a 13, actually almost 14-year Hodgkin's lymphoma thriver. And actually, April 8th will mark 14 years that I was diagnosed. Thankfully, I have been in remission through that whole time. I pray that it continues to remain that way. My experience with Hodgkin's lymphoma actually led me to leave my corporate job in supply chain and become a cancer doula, where I take all the things that I've been through and I help other people through their journeys as well. And so, in a nutshell, that is who I am. And what I'm up to is really focusing on my podcast, Navigating Cancer Together, where I talk with so many amazing people like you all that have been through cancer or they are supporting others through cancer. So that is what I'm up to. Thanks for asking.
You bet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're doing some great things. And I've just really, really enjoyed our conversations. And it's so awesome. And today we want everybody to know, even though a lot of us here have either cancer or had cancer or physical issues, not all of us are going through those challenges in life. And that's not what we're focusing on solely. We're focusing on there's so many different things. Like I tell people all the time, not everybody has cancer, but everybody's got stuff in their life, right? Maybe it's family issues, maybe it's money issues, maybe there's some real other challenges with their work life. Maybe it is physical, maybe it is something, but whatever it is, you know what? There's a way to keep a good perspective and make your way through it. And speaking of good perspective, the person that's had a lot and has still had a lot going on with her that I haven't been able to talk to for a long time, that is Miss Jenny Gold. And she is such a sweet person. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's yours? How many people have a goat? Do you guys have a goat? Did not send you guys a goat?
Yes,
Tim,
I love the goat. I've got the goat.
Tim, you have a goat. You have a goat. You guys don't have goats?
I have a goat. I
Yeah.
just don't have it with me.
I don't.
And my goat, don't know. Oh, Tanya. Talaya.
Talaya? Yeah, I don't have one.
What? What?
I don't have one.
My dad had leukemia and lymphoma, so I praise you that you're still alive and I'm really happy for you. And Amanda, I know what you have because actually, I remember Christy, but don't get mad at me if you're listening to the show. But boy, didn't leave. I actually interviewed him on Tim's show, Tim's fundraiser, and he actually had exactly what you have, Amanda. But he had stem cells that were sent over from, I think, from another country. But he was actually from the United States, but he was over in Asia, I think, on trip or not trip, but maybe the Navy or something. But they actually flew his stem cells over to Canada, so he had stem cells.
Wow. Yeah. My donor's from Germany. They
Yeah?
flew them
Oh,
over.
wow.
I had to sign for them and everything.
Yeah, I know everything.
So now you're partially German. That
What?
is crazy. All right, listen, Jenny.
Awesome.
Hi, Jenny.
Yes.
I got to reel you in real quick.
Yes.
You got to tell everybody who in the world is Jenny and what are you up to?
I actually live in Denver, Colorado. Just forget that. I used to have a podcast that will come back. It's going to be it's Get Really with Jenny Gold, but interviewing people with autoimmune diseases. And Tim came out on my podcast that he had cancer. Nobody knew that he had cancer. So his parents and his wife at the time. So nice, right? So he actually told the world that he had cancer on my show. That's how I met a lot of people. So that's how I met Floyd and a couple of people that have passed now. But it's really awesome. So my podcast is called Podcast on Podcast. So I'm going back to that name because nobody knew what it meant, right, Russ? Like nobody knew what podcast was, what not podcast was. So I'll probably go back to that name just because I'm encompassing all autoimmune diseases. As let you guys know, actually, I interview people with autoimmune disease, and we didn't even know the cancer was an autoimmune disease. So I found out really quickly, right?
So
it's
Jenny is dealing with a lot of her own challenges, which we can touch on, but we're going to get the rest of the people in.
Yes.
Lisa Marree, we're bringing in Down Under. Here we go.
Yay.
Hello, Lisa. Woo. How you doing? You too. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay, everybody. We're working on the. Hey.
I had the same problem. Same problem here.
Good morning from Australia. I'll say that again.
Yes. Well, good morning. Good morning. And Lisa, always enjoy. So glad you can make it. Give everybody that hasn't seen you several times on my live stream a little snippet on Who in the world is Lisa Marree? What are you up to?
Well, I actually understand what everybody's talking about because 30 years ago I became a medical scientist in hematology oncology.
Oh.
So I know very much what's going on here, but I help people become limitless. And it's been through my own, I guess, survival journey from a child in my mother had very violent psychiatric illness. I went on to develop a lot of my own health problems, multiple autoimmune conditions. Had surgery over 18 times for that. Of course, being an abused child, you generally get abusive husbands along the way. So I picked up 2 of those, gave those away. And all through that, I also decided to make some stupid mistakes with those husbands and faced bankruptcy, being homeless and $500,000 in debt. So that's a snapshot of my background. But where I am today in my beautiful world, I've been in business for over 20 years. I left the medical science world. I've got a holistic background, and that led me into trying to find solutions for my own health problems. I had a hysterectomy when I was 29. I'm now 55. And so I went on to become a holistic nutrition and fitness coach. And I specialize in the women who are in my chapter of life. So I help women in menopause make an absolute power pivot, take away the frustration of actually what's going on with their body to help it make sense and help give them toolkits and solutions to absolutely thrive and become strong and lean and healthy and happy and literally limitless. Thank you.
Yes, you are definitely a great example of that. Going from everything to limitless to where you are today. Yes. So speaking of limitless, the last person and the only guy in the group besides me, you had to get somebody in here with his own screaming goat. I don't know if he's got it ready, Mr. Tim Sohn. Oh, he has.
Hello. I am Screaming Goat-less because I'm in a different location today and I don't have it with me, but I'm glad you guys do. And apparently I need to get some people screaming goats because they don't have them.
There you go.
But it's so great to be here with all of you.
Well, Tim, so great. Give everybody a little snippet besides the fact that Jenny already gave away that it was her show that started this whole showing a perspective on cancer journey. But give everybody a little snippet on who is Tim and what are you up to?
Yeah, thanks, Russ. So I'm Tim Sohn. I live here in Northeast Pennsylvania. I like to say with the bears and the turkeys. And I am a 18-year and 3-month chronic myeloid leukemia survivor. I started sharing my story more than 3 years ago. Never expected to, but I shared it for the first time on Jenny Gold's Podcast Not Podcast show. So shout out to Jenny Gold for giving me the safe space to share my story. I never expected to do it, but it was a great experience and I haven't stopped sharing my story since. So yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, well, and quite sharing is like an understatement of all that you've done, but we can talk more about that. I'm going to bounce back to Amanda and say, I think I love the statement that says we weren't meant to just survive, we were meant to thrive. I truly believe that God put us on this earth with a purpose and a reason for all that we do. And we weren't here just to barely make it. Just barely, I hope I can make it through this. That's not why we're here. And I think that sometimes people let themselves get derailed by all the things that are going on in their life. And if anybody could have done that, Amanda, it was you, the mother of young children, going through cancer, brain surgeries, all of this stuff. I can't even imagine that. What kept you steady during that time?
Well, I mean, my mother was an amazing woman, still is, and she really made it easy kind of for me. We're very open. We discuss things. Obviously, to age, my sister had cancer when she was 6. I was like 8.5. My aunt had Ewing sarcoma before my sister was diagnosed with cancer. I've had aunts die of breast cancer. So, like I've seen things in my life. But writing for me was number one. When I was little, my sister had cancer. I would write, and I wrote like a biography of like her life when she had cancer when I was little. And it was just really an outlet for me to express what I was going through, getting my feelings out. Um, and I continue to do that, writing poems, writing songs, writing in my journal. I just absolutely love to write, but also just having conversations and being open with people and just asking how they're doing, or what is wrong, or can I help you, and mm, being okay to share that as well, being knowing that this feeling I'm feeling isn't a bad thing, whether that's anxiety or love or not liking something. It's okay to have those emotions, but why are you feeling this way? So I just think being very open and knowing what makes you happy and what makes you sad, and redefining maybe your limits. Like, okay, I want to walk 2 blocks today. Well, after the first one, I'm really tired. So, do you want to push yourself? Do you want to wait? And it's okay. You're like not getting mad at yourself when you aren't able to do the things that you want to do. And through my life, unfortunately, that's been a lot of not being able to do what I want to do because of surgery or not feeling well. But at the end of the day, I know my limits, and then maybe I can do something different. Maybe I can write an article and just redirect the energy to something different. I think that's really been able to help me through my life, and especially now, like as a mother, not being able to like go out and play with my son, but learning how to redirect his energy to something that we both can do together. I've just, like I said, I had an amazing mom who really helped me set up coping skills and mechanisms, and that has helped me throughout my whole life.
Well, and I think that is so important, right? The people that we have around us, and the support system we have. I mean, first of all, I just thank God every day for God going through things with me, but my beautiful wife and my family and amazing friends like all of you and so many other friends that have helped me through my journey. It does help, and like you talked about redirecting, I think is so important because I'm really good at kind of compartmentalizing and moving aside the things that are maybe are not so good and focusing on the things that are much better. And the other thing that I really love that you said, and then we're going to jump to Talaya, and that is walking 1 block or 2 blocks. Some people look at that and think, I can't walk because I can't walk a mile or I can't walk 2 miles. Hey, you know what, do what you can. Quit beating yourself up because you can't do what everybody else does or what other people do. If you can walk a half a block, if you can walk a few steps. I was talking to Mark Kagiyama. I was on his show earlier today, his cancer conquering community. He talked about taking 10 minutes for him to walk across one single room when he was at the low point in his cancer. 10 minutes to get across one room. That was, I mean, it's crazy. So, Talaya, talk to us a little bit about that whole concept of really focusing, not just trying to survive in your life, but learning how to thrive through focusing on not just the bad things all the time, right?
Right. When I was going through cancer, one thing that I realized early on was that I shouldn't just focus on this bad thing that's happening to me. I really had to shift my mindset to what can I learn from this experience? What can I take away from this experience? And also having the right people around you. So just like Amanda said, it was for me, it was my friends, it was my mom, my brother, just having those supportive and positive reinforcements around you was so critical for me. Then also just being able to be in movement and whatever that looks like for you, just moving your body, not sleeping all day, not just sitting still and letting those, negative feelings take over. You really have to, for me, I really had to find ways to shift my mindset and my focus. The other thing is that Even challenges that come up now, it's not so much about, wow, look at this big thing in front of me, but how can I break it down and make it manageable? And so that was something that I really had to learn to get better at too, because I'm the type of person where I just want to tackle this whole thing right away. And you know what? That's not how it works. So taking things day by day, sometimes hour by hour, sometimes minute by minute. And the thing about cancer and going through that experience, that's what it taught me, was like, you don't have to do everything in this moment. Just take your time, do what you can do, and that's okay. And then the other thing is not comparing yourself to other people and what they're doing and where they're at. Just focus really on what you can do, what works for you, and then also the people around you that truly love you, that know you, appreciate you, all of those things. And so that's what I would say. Those are the things that really help me thrive.
Yeah, I love that because the comparison game is never a winner, right? And it doesn't matter what you're going through in life. And I think that when you just find the strength to make one step, that could be a huge success, right? One little thing. And, through a couple of my surgeries, I was not mobile for a long time. And for anybody who knows me really well, I've been a super mobile guy my whole life and very, very out there. And so my first surgery on my foot, I couldn't actually walk for 6 whole weeks, which was a killer. I mean, some of you probably went through things longer than that, but for me, 6 weeks not walking was a huge deal. And so, learning the things you can do, and I learned, like you said, I could work actually with my laptop and my phone, laying in my bed. I could live stream sitting there laying in my bed or sitting up on a chair next to my bed. I did it all through my surgeries, all through my treatment and all of that. I just kept going because those were things I could do instead of focusing on things I couldn't do. So Jenny, I know that you have limitations that you deal with every day. Keeping your mind and keeping that smile on your face, what do you do?
Sometimes it's pretty rough. So Lisa Marree, I was thinking about what you're saying because I have the same type of issues where I was trying to stay positive all the time, but all these other things going on in the background, not abuse or anything like that. But it was very difficult in college because I was going to a huge university. I had to drop out of school for a year. I have Lyme disease, possible MS, so it's probably treating more in MS now because Lyme disease can do that if it's your nervous system. Mine's been in my nervous system the entire time, Lyme disease. So when I got COVID, it got really bad because all of a sudden I couldn't walk. We were talking about that. So I was in rehab places twice, like 5 times, to walk and to do my autoimmune system kind of back as check. Then I get home and it was not that great because in this country, Lisa Marree, we do not have a type of healthcare that you guys have down there in Australia and things, also over in Europe. So unfortunately, that's what I've been dealing with today. My caregivers didn't show up today, so the guy that was backstage with me, getting everything ready, he's here all the time. But the caregivers that the state is bringing in for me, they don't show up a whole lot. So that's what I'm dealing with. That's the biggest thing I'm dealing with right now. That's why I'm eating real Jenny Gold right now. I'm thinking this thing because I just want to get real with people and let them know that we all have issues going on in our worlds, right, Russ? We all do. That's what I wrote when I was advertising what you're doing today. Was saying to have everybody pop in and tell people and share with people the issues they have in their lives right now, because everybody has problems, Russ, right? Everybody does. Every time we think we're better, all of a sudden we're not better. Lyme disease, you think you're better, and all of a sudden you go down. So I've worked with a lot of major corporations like Fortune 500, Fortune 10, Fortune 1. I mean, you name it, I've done it. So it's very hard for me to slow down. That's another thing we all have in common, probably. It's very hard for us to calm down or slow down. Just to probably calm down too, but it's hard. It's really hard So I've talked to a lot of people on my podcast and other people's podcasts, but I haven't done it. You guys haven't done a podcast like this probably in 2 years. It's hard for me to do this now because all of a sudden I'm like, why isn't mine working, right? It's not the end of the world, but you think, why is my camera not working? I used to do it almost every day. Now I'm like, oh, no, not for it to be on a show or not. Today I had a mental breakdown, seriously, before I came on here. So I can't believe this. People upstairs are so loud right now. I can't believe stuff's going on right now. And trying to be on podcast international right now. So
yeah. Well, Denny, this is what I love about you, and that is, no matter what situation you're in, if you're able, you show up.
Yeah.
And that's probably where Tim got part of his name of showing up perspectives on cancer, because showing up is so much of the part of the battle, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim, listen, let me bump over to you real quickly here and continue on because I love this whole, this whole journey you're on has come out of your conversation with Jenny, and just what an impact she had, enabling you to feel safe to share that.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to Jenny for giving me the space to share my story on her show, Podcast Not Podcast. And then that was in June of 2021. And then in November of 2021, I started showing up Perspectives on Cancer, my weekly global live stream show that many of you had been guests on. And I think there's something special about providing a safe space for people to share their stories, whether it's cancer, whether it's, whatever your story of adversity is. I think it's really, by providing a safe space, we're helping people heal. We're connecting people together who maybe can understand certain parts of their stories. Many of us here and many of us on Showing Up and other places on LinkedIn have built amazing friendships, including Russ. We know each other through originally the Tim and Jim show, which I used to co-host with my good friend Jim Fuse. And then I ended up sharing my story and you ended up getting cancer. And so I think, by sharing our stories, it all brings us closer. I don't think any of us wish that we did get cancer, but it certainly has brought us together, and there are certainly lots of silver linings to being part of this incredible community, or family, as I used to like to call it.
For sure. And, Lisa, you're the queen of silver linings, and there are definitely always, I love that. My mama used to always say that. There's always a silver lining, and there is, it's true. There's always good in everything. Sometimes we just have to look harder than other times, right, Lisa?
Yes, exactly. And just going back to Amanda journaling everything, of course, who's my journal? Mr. Jim himself. So I do lots of journaling every day. But what I heard from everybody here was their extreme life challenges has developed into a purpose. And I believe that when we have a purpose, we can then have hope. Because if you're just laying still, not moving the energy, drowning in all of your negative stuff, feeling helpless, that's not solving the problem. When you have a purpose, even if you can't get out of bed, even if your life is really very, very dark at that point in time, if you have a purpose, that is a pinpoint light at the end of the tunnel. And I think in my experience as well, as a 7-year-old child, I was somehow landed in a swimming club. And I decided I wanted to do competitive swimming. And that was 5 hours a day out of the horrific environment that was not safe, that I was surrounded by leaders and mentors and champion mindset people. So from a very young age, I learned how to put all of my energy into a purpose at that point in time. And that survival mechanism, which was very unhealthy, because I felt if I was a champion, I could be significant to my mother. So I was seeking significance, but that never worked. But at the end of the day, the beautiful thing about providing a safe space for people, you know me, Russ, I'm taking notes while people are talking.
I know.
Because it's just so beautiful that we all actually have a very similar story with the end message. But it's said in so many different languages that all those beautiful people out there who feel like they're alone say, oh, that person is just like me. And then that, even sharing in public in a forum like this, or in a group or whatever, just starting to speak your trauma allows you to start to letting go some of that horrible stagnant energy stuck inside of you, and that is part of the healing process.
Oh yeah, well it is. I mean, by letting it out, I completely agree with that. And so, Amanda, we're going to bounce back to you, and I'm taking a look to make sure I'm watching the time here. So, one thing I just really think that, there is healing that needs to happen through our process, but I think it all boils down to what our perspective is so often. And I tend to really push the power of perspective. And I talked about that when we were all at Perspectives on Cancer in New York, the live conference. And that is, the way we're looking at things is really determining how we're going at things, right? And I think you talked about separating things and focusing on, and really, in a way, kind of distracting yourself when things are bad with things that are maybe better, and, things that are better to have your mind on. But talk a little bit about that perspective and how you've been able to maintain that.
So a good perspective I can share was when I was diagnosed with cancer. So it was heartbreaking. Like I said, I was a mom, but I went to the emergency room one day and then never came home, because I went to one hospital, to another hospital, to the hospital I was treated, and then stayed there for 35 days for inpatient treatment. So it was devastating, very hard and very scary. But what I did was I created a Facebook page, and I was writing down, basically it started from my family, and I just, hi, I'm Amanda and I have cancer. And I would write every day something different, what my medicines were taking, what my journey looked like. I shaved my head on Facebook Live, or my mom shaved my head on Facebook Live. And I shared that with everybody who was in the group. I talked about medications. I talked about the emergency surgery I had to have because my appendix was going to rupture. Everything that I went through, I spoke about. And even though I was going through such a difficult time in my life, speaking about it made me feel like I was in control and made the journey not so hard, because I felt like I was sharing it. I was in control of what I was feeling. I wanted my head shaved because I didn't want cancer to take it, or the chemo to take it away from me. So I felt like I was powerful. Those little things we can do in that hard time, that can make you change your mind and change your mindset, and maybe switch that anxiety a little bit. So my son got a bad grade on a math test a few months ago. So we took that and we said, okay, what can we change? Well, we can change how much you're studying for it. We can see if you can get extra time. We can maybe add 10 minutes onto your bedtime. So those 10 minutes we can study. The next test was a better grade. The next one was a better grade. And then today he just got a 100. So I try and just, shifting your perspective doesn't have to be a huge shift. Okay, my car doesn't work, but, I might be able to borrow money from the bank and get another one. How about my car doesn't work, so maybe I could ride my bike to get exercise. Maybe I can ask a coworker that I really kind of like and want to hang out with if they can come pick me up. Maybe I'll get an Uber and I'll talk to somebody new today and I'll share my story. Or, maybe I can just have a conversation with somebody that, it might help them out. It can be something so small, But in the grand scheme of things, it can be so big. It can take away the anxiety. It can take away the stress. It can take away the hardship that you're going through. So I always tell people little things, whether it's 5 minutes and you write affirmations for yourself, or you look in the mirror every morning and you pray and you talk to yourself amazingly. Little things add up and they can change so much for you. So that's what I try to do.
Well, and that is so true. I mean, everything does not have to be huge. There's a lot of little things that one step at a time we can make such a difference and a change in our perspective and how we're looking at things. Talaya, you're nodding your head, so I'm going to let you pick it up from there because I just think that is something people need to look at. You know, being in control of your situation, you have control over what happens next, right?
Absolutely. And for me, one of the things is actually when challenges come up, not being the victim to those challenges, learning different strategies that I can take away from what I've been through. The other thing, Russ, is, just being okay with things are not perfect and you don't always have to be positive. And I actually recommend that if you have some of those feelings that are coming up that are, not so good feelings, experience those feelings. We're all human, but please don't get stuck there because that's when you really start to go down this road where you spiral, and then you're always negative or you become depressed. And so just really being in tune with your patterns. Are you spending more time in a place that maybe you shouldn't? Finding other areas of your life that may not be great, but maybe they're better than this other thing that's going on and really honing in on that. So figuring out what's working. And if something's working in one area of your life, can you kind of shift some of that over to this area that's challenging? And by that, I mean, are there certain things you're doing in this area of life that's going pretty good that you can kind of move over to this area where you're facing challenges? And so I think, just being able to take the negative things that you've been through and use those to get through other things that are going to come up in life. That's just the way it is. And just continuously building on those and building your toolbox of, strategies and ways to cope through those challenging times. Because once you get through one thing, I guarantee you something else is coming. And so just being mindful of how you have moved through those things in the past and what can you pull from those things and use to get through this current situation. And so that's really my perspective on that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And, I think that learning from our experiences, but I love what you said. We have to feel the emotion and go through it and then just don't get stuck there, right? That's what I think is so important. So, okay, I know we didn't make a complete round, but we got to start our last round. So I'm just going to pick it up from where we are right now, and I'm going to bring Jenny in next. But so each of you just take a couple minutes and of our conversation today, what do you want people to walk away with? What I call the gold nugget. What do you want people to remember from what we talked about today that's a positive way to thrive and not just survive in their life? And then tell everybody how to get in touch with you. All right, Jenny, you're up.
Right, so first of all, I just want to tell Dr. Leland, I saw that she came in. She one podcast on for like an hour. So I apologize for not saying that. One thing I tell people is that I have code brain, I have lion brain, not good. So if people don't always remember everything about you, give a little slack because it might have their own issues too. I think it's very important to give people that type of space. Also, I used to be a big, not influencer, but a kind of like Russ, where everybody knows you in the room. That was me. I don't remember that anymore because I don't get out a lot anymore. So try to stay in touch with people, even though you're not in touch with them since COVID started. Just reach out to them and still try to keep in touch with them. So I think that everybody needs to just give people space and understand what they're going through and be there for them.
Yeah, being there
Yeah.
for them is so,
Yes.
so important. And
Yes.
Jenny, how does everybody get in touch with you?
I'm Jay's Gold Standard on Gmail, but Jay's Gold Standard at gmail.com. You will find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. All my past podcasts are on YouTube. You guys want to get in touch with me, just reach out to me that way.
There you go. And it just
Yeah.
appeared magically below you. And
Yes,
so everybody
thank
that's clickable, there you are. All right.
Yeah.
And Lisa, we're going to go back to you. You're up. Oh, Lisa, you
Thank
disappeared.
you.
Where'd you go? Lisa, you're
Right
up.
there.
I was just making sure I was unmuted as well. My gold
If I hit
nugget,
the right buttons, we'll be fine, right?
yeah, that's it. If I hit them all, I might disappear actually. But I just wanted to say thank you for this beautiful space today. It was lovely to meet all of you in person who I haven't met yet. And I just want you to know that this is actually a piece of hardware. Well, it is actually, it's a plastic. However, we are a spiritual being in a human body, and our higher self, that one that grabs hold of a purpose, that is our inner guidance telling us that we need to go that way. We can give that instruction. We tell it what to do, and then that will actually put a cascade of signals down into the body to do something. The human body is incredibly resilient. It only wants to move towards wellness if you put the right things in and do the right things. And so all I want people to go away with is that literally change your mindset. You can change your inner world, and your entire outer world will change as well. And so that is much harder than what it sounds like. But it's about connecting with the right people who can give you that little piece of the jigsaw puzzle that you need. And there's thousands on the board. So just grab that one piece at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time, one thought at a time, one affirmation at a time, one beautiful friend at a time. And you will start to build that staircase to the place that you're meant to be. And you can find me at lisamarree.com. I'm just like Russ, really, really keeping things simple. So Lisa, MARREE.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn under the same name. Mwah! Thank you.
There you go. And people don't even have to remember that, because it's just appeared in the show notes and the comments, and they can just click on it. So there you go. And Lisa Marree, that is so awesome. Thank you so much. I love that whole, I love everything that you bring to the table, but people don't realize the power they have over their brain by the way they think and the things that they do. And I think it's so important. You can affect a lot of your outer world by your inner thoughts and your inner world. So, all right, Stone, you're up next.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me, Russ. Thank you for having me alongside these other incredible human beings, including yourself. And I would say, think about sharing your story, whether it's cancer, whether it's something else, because it will connect you with other amazing human beings. And you don't have to start sharing it publicly. Maybe you just share it with a friend or a few friends or family members. You could be selective in who you share your story with. Or at some point, you may want to share your story publicly, because by sharing it publicly, you can help a lot of other people also that way. But yeah, so thank you so much for having me. You can reach me at perspectivesoncancer.com, or I'm very active on LinkedIn. You could just find me under my name, Tim, SOHN. So thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Always amazing. Thank you so much for that. And you know what?
You're amazing, Russ.
What?
I said you're amazing, Russ.
Oh, no, you're amazing.
Let's have a round of applause for Russ and everybody.
I'm blushing. No, you sharing is so important. I think sometimes people don't realize that by keeping to themselves things that could help other people, they're kind of robbing people of some of the wisdom and things we can give, because that's what you get it from, is people that have been through the challenges that we're going through. And I think that is so, so important. So everybody connect with Tim, perspectivesoncancer.com. All this information, of course, is there. Amazing, amazing. And we got to go back to, we're going to go back to Jenny real quick. Just give your contact information, Jenny. We need to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you.
Really quick, I have to say something, because Tim actually had me go live first. And I learned how to go live because of Tim, right, Tim? And so that's what I was Tim on my show. And it's my show because it's a big deal for him, and it really had a lot of people on my show, like 5 people. Actually, as Russ, I was on your show first or second time I went live. So thank you. I appreciate that too. Anyway, my name is Jenny Gold, and you can find me on LinkedIn that way, or Facebook, or YouTube. And you in touch with me for Jenny's Gold Standard at gmail.com, or Jenny's JNYS Gold.com. That's my email address. I used to have a lot of CBD products on there, but they're still kind of on there. Not. Hi, Dr. Leland. Anyway, so that's the last one I was on, Dr. Leland. So anyway, love you guys. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Jenny. You're awesome. Thanks so much. All right.
Thank you.
And Amanda, any last comments and how people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I just want to say one more time, like, manifestation is simply amazing, and it can start just by like one sentence a day. And I always tell people, when you're speaking, the universe hears it. So if you're speaking bad about yourself or your situation, misery loves company. But when you're positive and you're trying to, think outside the box, or just be happy, or think happy, happy things will come. I tried to do it. It's not as easy as like talking. It is hard, but I try to do it for myself, and I'm teaching my son that as well. So I just want to tell everybody that if you try to manifest, it could be one sentence a day to yourself. But if you keep doing it over and over again, I'm telling you, things will change. You can find me at cancerisанasshole.com, because it is. My name is Amanda Rose Ferraro on almost all social medias. I'm very popular on LinkedIn. I have a Twitter, Cancer is an Asshole. You tag it, you can find me.
Yes, well, you are very popular, that's for sure. And yes, that I got to say that the whole manifestation thing, a lot of people call it like the law of attraction. You attract what you put out there, right? If you were putting out positive things, you get it back. And I agree with you 100%. You are, what you're sending out is going to come back to you. I think we all could nod and agree with that. And so Tim just left us. We left him. We missed him. He's gone. Oh, hey, wait, before we go, Rochelle made it.
Hey!
Hi.
Hey, Rochelle, how you doing?
Hi.
Hello, everyone. I'm good, thank you. Really good to be with all of you here, even if it's just for a few moments.
We know you had a busy day. Before we wrap things up, tell everybody who's Rochelle and what are you up to?
So Rochelle, I am a nurse and a mom of 3, and my husband and daughter were diagnosed with cancer at the same time. And 11 years later, they both survived. Out of that, I wanted to make sense of what happened, and so we created the company Orphan Healthcare Solution, which is a cancer treatment library of all therapeutics under one roof. And we also provide healthcare system navigation, because if you have knowledge of what's available to you, then you can access the treatments that are available. And then you need someone to be there to speak for you or to help you navigate the different healthcare systems, because the treatment might not be right next to you. It may be across the nation. It may be more than 200 miles from where you are. and to be able to navigate insurance, authorization, and just the distance of being separated from your family versus otherwise, you really need that help. So this is
Well,
what
you
we
know
do.
what? I appreciate all that you do, and I loved hearing you talk and getting more information about that when we all met at the live conference in New York. And what a blessing you are. And I know today has been a tough day, and you've had a lot, and you've had to work long. So we're not going to keep you long because we're wrapping the show up. But I wanted everybody to be able to hear from you. And do you want to give just a 1 minute on or 2 minute little flip on why people should thrive, not just survive in their life, meaning that keeping that positive attitude and moving in it with a good perspective in spite of challenges in their life, which we all have.
Yes, life is short, especially when you have cancer. It's extremely short, or it's self-limiting. And so the one thing that you could do is to not look at the whole situation. The situation happens. It's how you handle the situation. So you string those individual moments together. You find the positivity. You find something to laugh at. For me, the most important thing was making my daughter smile. And so if I made her smile even one day through it all, I had done my job. And so eventually, when you tie all of those things together and look back, you can see the sweetness in the journey and not the negativity. So that's my perspective. It's not the moment, it's the situation and how you handle it. And if you look to find joy, even in adversity, those moments are fleeting. It's going to be here. You could take a pain medicine and it'll take the pain away. You have to go for a treatment and you've got to recover from it. 6 weeks from now, you're not even going to think about it or even remember that you had that treatment. But how you feel in that moment of that adversity, how you make that other individual feel going through that situation, because that's right, life happens. And if you can find the joy in that and string it all together, you find purpose, you find balance, and you can find the sweetness of life.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I mean, that was an amazing way to end the show. All of Rochelle's contact information is right below us, and it's in the show notes. You can click on that and get to Rochelle. And listen, I appreciate all of you. We're slowly losing people one by one, but we're going to say goodbye with all of
Wait,
us left here on the screen. What?
Talaya needs to give her
Oh,
information.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry, Talaya. Well, thank you for correcting that. The whole thing, it threw me off there.
Come on,
Talaya,
Russ.
last little, let everybody know your gold nugget and how to get in touch with you. Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Amanda. And Russ, thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here with you again. My golden nugget is a quote from Lena Horne. It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way that you carry it. And then also I want to add to that, if you are not going to be real with anyone, be real with yourself about your needs, your wants, and your desires, and figure out how to get those things that you need, that you want, or you desire, and how to communicate that to other people who may be willing to support you in those things. Again, I'm on LinkedIn under Talaya Dendy. My website is ontheotherside.life, and you can listen to Navigating Cancer Together just about everywhere. Just search on Google and you'll find it. Again, thank you so much, Russ, and it was nice meeting everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Talaya. Thank you for having grace for me. I didn't mean to forget you. I'm so sorry. That's the first time that's ever happened. No, I'm just kidding. Well, listen, thank you all for being here today, and we're just gonna put that one off to brain fog today. So that's always a good excuse, but uh, appreciate you so much, all of you, and what a blessed group. Great information for everybody. Don't forget, everybody, we're here at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time every Thursday. Great panels, amazing information. Go to our our YouTube page at russreal.live today for more information. You can subscribe there. Appreciate you all. And until next time, have a blessed week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!